Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Houston Roundball Review presents Folks Talkin Sports. Tony M, how are you doing? I am Kris Gardner, KG, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Joining me, as usual, Willy Gibson in Ohio, WTG Sports. How are you, sir?
Fantastic, sir. How about you?
Doing pretty good. And also Andy Yanez from Gallery Sports. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Kris.
All right. Game 7, Sixers, Celtics. Tony jumping right on into it. That's the James Harden I know right there. Tony M pulling no punches. Well, fellas, anybody surprised at today's result?
Nope.
The score, the route that Boston won by, what was it? 24?
24, I think. Yeah, 24.
Was anybody surprised by the margin being that big?
Nope.
Why not, Will?
The series ended Thursday night about 10:30 Eastern. There's no way this team was going into Boston winning Game 7. When you had a closeout game in your building and you don't win, you're not going on the road to win Game 7. Stop it.
But Will, is there a precedent for your reality? What are you basing this on, Mr. Gibson?
Doc Rivers being 6-9 in Game 7 going into today.
Now 6-10.
Now 6-10.
And
how many? Well, this wasn't a 3-1 lead, but he blew a 3-2 lead.
Yep.
But yeah,
blew another one of those. Yeah, blew another lead in the playoffs.
Yep.
He's consistent in that. And Tony, this is for you. Go ahead. What are you going to say? What else?
And then someone asked him post game, had he ever seen a playoff performance like Jayson Tatum put on today? And he said, "Yeah, I have. It was in this building. It was LeBron." Like, are you talking about LeBron and you just lost another Game 7? Cut it out. What? You shouldn't even. I know they asked him the question, he had to answer it, but come on, man, LeBron. You bringing up LeBron after you lost another Game 7?
Let's
see. That's the question he answered, and it came against another one of his teams.
That's crazy.
Doc Rivers has the most blown series leads in NBA history. 2 in Philly, 5 with the Clippers, 4 with the Celtics, and 1 with the Magic.
Big Bro don't like us bringing that up.
I love
AJ a lot. Big Bro don't like me bringing that up. I brought that up before, and he didn't like that.
Facts is facts, man. That's 12 right there. That's 12 blown series leads. That's 12. 12. And I was surprised when he was voted as one of the top NBA coaches of all time. No. So no. No. But Tony M, this is for you. James Harden in Game 7, 21.3 points, 7 assists, 5.8 rebounds in 6 games. That's counting today as well. He has not shot above 30% since his third Game 7. Whew, 27%. That's some bad numbers, man. God, it's bad. He's not doing it on purpose. It's just.
He's not? Do we know that? Is that confirmed?
It's not confirmed, but I choose to believe he's not doing it on purpose.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Joel Embiid in 3 Game 7s only shot above 40% once of the 3. Woo, 33, 52, and 27.8 today. When your best players, is that Doc's fault when your best players don't show up?
No, but
go ahead.
But when they go on a 33-10 run in the third quarter, I mean, gotta do something.
And let's get into that part of it, because I know, Tony, would you hire Rivers over Silas next year? No. But on the on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. The poll question is up. If anybody want to chime in, would you want to hire? Should the Rockets sign James Harden? It's all no. There's not one yes right now. It's all no.
Kris, I think today's performance was the final nail in the coffin. If you're truly a Rocket fan, Rockets management, how can you see that Game 7 after nearly 9 years of seeing it firsthand for yourself? And if you really want to take Tillman Fertitta and general manager Rafael Stone at their word, they're on to phase 2.
Right?
How does James Harden fit in that picture of phase 2? Even for Harden himself, if he were to come back to Houston, that's basically him just punting on the rest of his career, saying, you know what, I couldn't win a championship. It is what it is. Let me come back home. And if you're the Rockets, what kind of culture? And I'm curious to get Ime Udoka's kind of thoughts on what he has to say if Harden wanted to come back. I'm sure you just hired your new head coach. He's going to have a big say, or he should have a big say in whether he comes back or not.
Well, but what if it's just a 2-year deal?
What's the purpose? What is the purpose of bringing back James Harden to the Rockets? He broke up with you in the first place. He's the one that wanted to leave Houston.
That's the part that I don't understand. Yeah.
It wasn't the Rockets that said, we're just going to go in a different direction. We want to go young. No. It was the opposite. Well, that's the only reason John Wall played with the Rockets that 20 years. That's the only reason they got John Wall. So he broke up with you, and you want to go back and bring him back when you've moved on. You potentially are on the cusp of securing the number 1 overall pick and getting Victor Wembanyama, although that would be determined Tuesday.
Yep. And
you want to bring him back when you have a new young core nucleus. For what?
Sell tickets.
No. That bridge is burned. And that's what I could never wrap my head around. A lot of fans, even people that follow the team, and I'm still curious because those rumors are coming from somewhere. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Oh yeah. We talked about it yesterday. Me and Kelly Iko, beat writer Kelly Iko, was the first media person to say a couple of months ago now that it was a 7 out of 10 chance that James Harden would come to the Rockets.
Why citizens? This is the same man who said we wasn't good enough. Have that same energy.
Oh, I agree.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
I agree.
First of all, how did you remember the breakup? He came in. He didn't want to come to training camp. He waited till the last possible day. He came in out of shape. We know it's become a meme where he's wearing the kind of, what a coincidence I'm wearing this color today of all days, because the Rockets were wearing those warm-ups when they were doing the Oilers colors. It's a meme now because of how he looks. They don't know if he was just trying to, I don't know what was going on that 2020 season. He came out of shape. He played, how many games did he play that season? 8? Was it even 8?
It wasn't a lot.
And then they ran into the Los Angeles Lakers, who at the time were the reigning defending champions. They got absolutely destroyed by the Lakers, and he said we're just not good enough. He was already checked out. He just kind of threw it out there.
I wonder if that was after he had just come back from a visit somewhere. Was it the ATL or Vegas or whatever? 7 out of 10 chance before Game 7. It comes down. All right, I'm not changing. I know it sounds like some Rocket fans say I'm changing. I don't want James back. Okay. Didn't want him back when Iko first said it. I didn't want him back. The money part of it, if it's 2 years, I could stomach it. I still don't want him back. But I can see Tillman saying it. Whatever. Put a spin on it. One of the greatest Rocket players in franchise history. You want to bring him back to help us build and establish a winning culture. He could say, say what he ever wants. We all know it'd be for selling tickets. Okay.
Question.
Yes, sir.
So you said a 2-year deal. Didn't James turn down a 2-year extension? It was like 101.
He did. He did.
But that was Philly. That's not his home.
Did he not turn down an
Right.
extension before he got traded to Houston?
Well, oh, you going back that far? Oh, yeah, you going back
Yeah.
that far? Yeah. Well,
Yes, he turned down an extension.
Yeah.
Right.
He did not want to be here after.
So
And this is where we get into rumors and innuendo. There was reported that he's the reason that they traded away Chris Paul to bring in Russell Westbrook,
Right.
and that only lasted 1 year before
he and Russ
that fell apart.
Didn't get on. Didn't see eye to eye.
I just go back to again, and Andy brought it up, but he didn't want to be there. He talked about he did everything he could to get out of there, but y'all want him back.
Okay, well, what if he wants to be here now? What if that's in the past? He did not want to be with the Rockets then. He wants to be with them now. Does that change y'all's opinion? Why I said it's Tony M, Will, Andy.
No. Me, no. And that's y'all city. I mean, I get it. But for me, no.
I would rather bring.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, me and Eco, we haven't changed. We still believe. I haven't talked to him today. Okay. I haven't talked to him during the
believe
game.
He's coming back. I just don't understand why they would want him back after all of that. They would still say, you know what? Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go.
Is going in on him. Well, yeah. Chris, let's go back and let's dissect James Harden's time in Houston. I agree. He's a phenomenal player. I don't know if you could even put the word arguably on top of it, but he very is clear.
He's still the best player on the team.
The second best player in Rockets history, arguably. You know, Hakeem by far number one, Harden and whoever else you want to put there, number two. But let's go back to the 2014-15 season. Right? That's the year when Dwight Howard won or played in 41 games back for the stretch. They got to the conference finals. Let's not forget the second round series in the Clippers. The game 6 when the Rockets made that improbable comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Was James Harden on the floor, Chris?
No, he was not.
He wasn't. Who led the Rockets in that game 6 comeback?
Josh Smith, Dwight Howard,
Jason Terry, Trevor Ariza. Terrence Jones was on the floor. Am I wrong? Terrence Jones was on the floor, right?
It was not James Harden. It was not James Harden. Know that.
Game 7, give credit. He did okay in that game 7. I think he had 31 points, and then they helped close out the Clippers. Game 5, they lose to the Warriors in the conference finals in 5 games. Fast forward the following year. They severely underperform, and now I'm starting to remember a lot. But wasn't there similar criticisms about James Harden going into that season, where he might not have showed up in the best shape?
Oh, that year, I went on a local show and said that he came in fat.
Yes,
fat. I used the word fat, and I got some flack for saying that he came in fat. And I was like, "Am I wrong?" I got Pete for that.
They started 0-3, and then they went 4-7 before they fired Kevin McHale. Before they even got 15 games into the season, they barely made it to 500. I think there were 3 games under 500 with the last 3 games of the season, and they just limped into the playoffs and got crushed by the Warriors again. Then following year 16-17. Now, granted, this was clearly a rebuild. Dwight Howard was gone. A retool, correct?
James ran Dwight out of Houston.
Oh, no doubt about that. But
like Russ and Chris Paul.
That's neither. You're getting to my point, because that's neither here nor there. So 16-17 season. Granted, it's a completely different team. That's when they brought in Eric Gordon. They brought back, or they didn't brought back, but they've wanted for years to get Ryan Anderson. They kind of retooled the team around him, and I think that team, for the most part, reached its ceiling, getting to the second round. And here's where it's unforgivable. That game 6 against the San Antonio Spurs at home. And James Harden, again, and this is the game where really it just piled up on top of him. He was shot 2 for 11. He had 9 points.
Yeah.
He had 9 points in that game.
Yeah.
The Rockets lost by how much? 30?
25? It was bad. Yeah.
And here's where it really gets bad. Was he not at the club that same night?
Yeah.
He posted on social media.
Yeah.
The Manu plot, correctly.
Andy,
game 5.
Andy bringing in facts. He come from the top rope today, Will.
The following year, they get Chris Paul. best record in the NBA, 65 wins, a franchise record in wins. Chris Paul gets down. His hamstring gives out in Game 5, but the Rockets are up 3-2.
Shocker.
Did the Rockets not have a double-digit lead in both Games 6 and 7? They were up 17 in Game 6 in Golden State.
Yep.
They were up. I can't even remember how much they were up in Game 7, but they were up in Game 7, were they not? They were double digits. It might have been.
And I remember sitting there.
Again.
They're still going to lose. I still remember sitting there saying that they're going to lose this game.
27 missed threes. But okay, you could pencil that in. Hey, they weren't at full strength. By the way, this is something that I'll believe for the rest of my life. I feel even if the Rockets would have beat the Warriors, they would have lost to the Cavaliers. They would have lost to LeBron James and the Cavaliers. With George Hill, with J.R. Smith, LeBron would have been the best player on the floor. And I got a taste of that in 2020.
Will?
Facts.
All right, there we go.
I believe, this is my personal belief, whatever. 2019, Kevin Durant gets injured. Game 5, series tied 2-2. This time, Harden and Chris Paul are both healthy. And the Warriors seemed like they just outran. They had the advantage. They completely changed their style of play, and they just left the Rockets in the dust after Kevin Durant got injured.
All right, Andy, hold it right there. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Put a pin in right there. We're going back. Let's answer Tony M's statement. As shrewd of a businessman as Fertitta is, I can't believe he's even entertaining Harden, the idea of Harden coming back. Your thoughts on that comment?
I agree. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. What in the world would you? It's a chapter in the franchise. It was definitely much better than what it had been. That's probably the highest. There's no arguing. That's the highest the franchise has ever been since they won the back-to-back championships. But it's in the past. You got to let go of the past.
I agree. I wish
James Harden should not be brought back until it's time to retire his jersey, if they choose to do that.
And they probably will. Yeah.
And I agree. He absolutely deserves it. I think he's very easily the second best player in Rockets history.
I don't know about it very easily. I don't know about that. Moses Malone might say something. Elvin Hayes might say something. Calvin Murphy might say something.
Length and in terms of the accomplishment, I think he has a valid argument.
That's fair.
But anyways,
this is great, man.
To bring him back,
speaking from his chest, Will.
Well, I didn't even finish the 2019-20 season. They trade Chris Paul. He was washed, which, by the way, I mean, that Warriors series, I valid point, but whatever. They sent him out, bring in Russell Westbrook.
You say Chris Paul was washed?
That's what they believed at the time. That's why they traded him to Oklahoma City.
Gotcha.
And then Chris Paul came back, and he was, yeah, I think he might have been fueled by spite of what the Rockets basically told them. They basically said, "Hey, you're done." That's why they sent him to Oklahoma City. And he was very close to eliminating the Rockets the following playoffs.
He almost did, yeah.
Give credit, that's where Harden deserves his props because he blocked Lou Dort's shot. I mean, if he doesn't block that, who knows?
Lou Dort, that's where Lou Dort, people realize Lou Dort, damn, he plays defense because he gave James some trouble, man. He made it tough on James in that series.
But they squeaked past the Thunder, and then they looked
outclassed.
The Lakers and the Rockets, it looked like they were two different leagues after game 1. They won game 1, by the way. They lost 4 in a row, and by the time that they didn't even bother showing up for game 5, God, they were ready to check out.
1, 2, 3 Cancun, Will.
And then where we started at the top of the show, where the Rockets weren't good enough, and he left. He had to Brooklyn for a season and a half.
Then honey buns, baby, honey buns.
He went to Philly, and now we're here. I just don't understand outside of the financial component, because I do believe, Chris, you're right. If James Harden joins the Rockets, there's definitely going to be much more buzz around the team than there has been for the past 3 seasons.
But stop
no
right there.
About that.
Right there. If Tuesday night, May 16th, 7:28 Central Time, Adam Silver, or was it Mark Tatum?
Mark Tatum, yep.
Mark Tatum reveals the second team is the Detroit Pistons. Every other team is been shown on the lottery. And with that first pick, the Houston Rockets, the first pick goes to the Houston Rockets. That means Victor Wembanyama. Hype will return. Joy will return to the franchise. Interest will return to the franchise. Spotlight will return to the franchise. All those things. Do you still need James Harden to sell tickets if you got Victor Wembanyama on your roster?
No, but it wouldn't hurt.
Would it?
I'm just saying. From a marketing standpoint, and this is strictly marketing. This is me looking at the other side. I agree 100%. He should not be brought back until you guys decide to retire his jersey. But I digress. Do you not think Victor Wembanyama by himself or Victor Wembanyama paired with Harden and the core of Jabari Smith and Jalen Green? Now that will sell tickets.
But okay, what about Victor Wembanyama and pick a top tier free agent, Cam Johnson? It
won't be the same, Chris. It won't be the same.
It won't be the same, but the team might be better off.
Oh, definitely. From a on the roster and on the core perspective, I agree. From a strictly marketing perspective, to get as many people to file into the Toyota Center, I see the value in bringing back James Harden. But on the court, it doesn't make sense.
Will.
Yep.
What say you? There are, I don't know the percentage. Let me see if anything's changed on the poll question. So far, still no. Nobody wants the Rockets to sign James Harden. It's 100% no. 100%. I'm sure. I know there are Rocket fans, James Harden fans, whatever, who want the Rockets to sign James. Will, what do you say to those folks? Or what do you think your percentage is from those who want Rocket to sign James and those who don't want the Rocket to sign James?
I would probably say the 20-80. 20-80. 20 that want them to sign him versus 80 that do not.
Do you think that 80 would still be close to that number if they do sign him? They don't get Victor. Come the start of the season, they'll be like, well, yeah, James is here, but I haven't forgotten what he said to the team, how he left. I'm not spending my money on the Rockets and James. Where does that come in?
Yeah, I agree. That's I don't understand. I mean, I think the ownership and whomever wants him back are severely underestimating the power of the fan base, because it's everything that you've said. He did not want to be here. He did not want to be there. And so now it's okay. Well, now he wants to be back. Well, why? Why does he want to be back? For what? I mean, I know we talk a lot, but I mean, professionally, on court purposes, no. This team, you've pointed out to us as you're building back up foundation from the ground up. It's going to be some growing pains. You're not going to sell as many tickets. So do you want to short circuit that rebuild for a short term? I think it's going to cause more harm than good.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, so why even entertain that? Like Tony said, why even entertain that? That's crazy.
And this is for Gohan. I don't know if you saw it, and I hope you can see the numbers. James Harden in 6 Game 7s has not shot above 30% in his last 3 Game 7s. Look.
He shot 26% against the Oklahoma City Thunder in the bubble. I mean, my God, can you imagine? Had Lou Dort made the shot, he not blocked it, or they had come up short, got eliminated by Chris Paul after you say he's not good enough to lead you to a championship.
I mean, they were that close. They were that close. So he's come up short. Man, I hope. I mean, I don't really care, but it would be something if it got out that James was somewhere else last night. So y'all, hey, pick a city, just somewhere else. ATL, back in Philly, partying, Vegas, whatever, and flew back late to get with the team. I get it.
Here's
we're focusing on Game 7, and that's that. Yeah, but I'm looking back at Game 6. He shot 4 for 16 at home in a closeout game.
In this series,
tripping over his own feet.
Out of the 7 games, he's played well how many times?
Twice.
Out of 7 games,
2
times.
Credit, they would not have won those games had it not been
without him. Yes.
So although I think Jaylen Brown gets a huge assist for one of those game winners where he completely left him wide open in the corner, but I digress.
But James Harden is closer to being old than more times than the Rockets, if they sign him, get the old James Harden.
Agreed. And Chris, I mean, let's be honest. How many more years does he have left? I think 3 at most. How old is he? He's 34, 35?
33. He was 34 in August. Is it old?
4 years?
He ain't LeBron. Okay.
Oh, he's not going to play until his 20th season, no. But I want to go back to Tony M's comment. Without a ring, there's no reason for Harden to come here. And I agree. It never made sense. The only outcome it makes sense from a logical standpoint is if Philadelphia would have, say they would have won Game 6 or they would have won the series, whatever. They advanced, they beat Miami, and they win a championship. Mm-hmm. That's the only scenario where I think it actually makes sense. Hey, I'm coming back. The only reason I left was because I wanted to win a ring. I got my ring now. Hey, maybe I can be a true veteran. Now I have my championship ring. But again, it makes no sense with the way it turned out. Which, like Will said, it wasn't just Game 7. It was Game 6 too. A chance to close at home. And if you're really on to phase 2 of a completely new rebuild of a different era, why bring back the old era? It's a chapter. It was what it was. The chapter should be closed. And the next time Harden is associated with the Rockets should be when he's to have his jersey retired.
Let's tie it all together. If you're Philly, is Doc Rivers fired tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Let him fly back. Actually, I think he might be gone before we even get to midnight in the Central Time Zone.
Will?
Before I get to Doc, how about Daryl Morey?
Oh, don't get me started on Daryl Morey.
Yeah, none. Us. I have never been one of those Daryl Morey Kool-Aid drinkers. In Daryl Morey we trust. When Daryl Morey saw me in the hallways, if he looked my way, it'd be a shock because he knew who I was. And I mean, no. But yeah, he made mistakes in this.
Yeah.
So what about him for sure?
He rebuilt the Rockets with Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris.
Rockets East. Rockets East. He didn't win with Rockets West. He tried in Rockets East and still didn't get it done.
I mean, he's a Cleveland guy. But I look at him. But to answer your question, yeah, tonight.
Let's add to the situation that when he left Houston, he said it was because he wanted to spend more time with his family.
And then a short time later, the Philadelphia 76ers announced Daryl Morey's joined the franchise. What? Wait. But you said, yeah. Okay. A fire, Doc.
PJ Tucker.
What else?
And PJ Tucker as well.
Is Joel Embiid going to say, yo, I want to go to play with Jimmy Buckets?
He should.
Is this 76ers has the process ended? It's time for another process to start in Philly?
Well, the process ended.
Tear it down?
Yeah. It's looking that way.
Okay.
I don't know about a complete how many years does Joel Embiid have left?
In 27.
27. Wow, he's still. I think, from a front office and from a coaching perspective, I just don't see how they don't clean house and start scratch. Do a new roster around Joel Embiid. That's what they need to do.
All right, from Philly perspective, should they re-sign James?
No. I think this Harden.
Okay, what if James opts into his contract because he has a player option to do so? So what if he says, "Yeah, I want to stay in Philly for one more year"?
Then you trade him to Houston. Since y'all want him so bad, let's talk. I got to recoup those picks I traded to Brooklyn.
That might be the move. Or heck, does Harden have a no trade clause?
No.
Not no player option either.
No.
Just send them to Charlotte. Send them to a team that will want to sell tickets, and getting James Harden, your team will get tickets.
All right.
I mean,
oh man. Yep. 9 votes. All no. Rockets should not sign James Harden.
To me, and who's the owner? Who's the one that oversees the Philadelphia's basketball operations? The governor, I'm mistaken.
Josh Harris.
Soon to be owner of the Commanders.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
You got to clean house.
Thank goodness.
It doesn't, and I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts. It's not all on Doc. Just like that blame has to be shared evenly when it comes to
it's on Morey,
the players on the court.
All that, sure.
Exactly. Daryl Morey as well for constructing the roster, and when the offseason, they just kept signing ex-Rocket players.
Yep.
And
okay,
again, going back to the duo, to me, the duo of Harden and Embiid, this is their ceiling, the second round. Embiid off an MVP season couldn't get them to the Eastern Conference Finals.
5 for 18 today. Okay,
you got
Monty Williams take that job.
Yep.
I want to prefer Milwaukee.
I was going to say, how about Milwaukee?
Hey, Mark Jackson's interviewing Milwaukee.
Well, in terms, and I'm being serious, and some folks might say I'm wearing the cap, but in terms of a wider window of possible success, Detroit's better than Philly. Especially if Tuesday comes around and they get Victor Wembyanama.
So there's Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Victor Wembanyama. Huh. Yeah, I see that.
Because they're not going to, as far as I know, they're not going to announce a hire today or Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday before the lottery results. And Monty Williams being let go might have slowed down Kevin Ollie getting that job. So anything's possible. We shall see. Were you surprised that Monty got fired?
No. Not for the reason, and I'll say it by saying this. I don't believe it was performance-based. I don't believe it was a knee-jerk reaction to Thursday. I mean, the man just spent $4 billion on this franchise. He wants to put his I'm sorry?
It's his team.
Yeah, it's his team. He wants to put his step. And then if you go back to last Sunday when he had to brush up with Joker with the ball, not giving him the ball back, did you happen to notice the gentleman sitting to his right?
A Detroit legend.
Thank you.
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas. I don't know how many people outside of us really caught that because it was real quick.
Yeah, but Isaiah is he's a consultant for owner Matt Ishbia, and y'all can say what you want. He was a fan of the Bad Boys, Isaiah Thomas fan, all that. So he might be leaning on Isaiah a little bit too much, but Isaiah is his right-hand man.
Yeah, literally. Sitting to his right. But no, but Monty, no, I don't think it's an indication or indicative of his character or his performance. I think it was just simply, I want to put my stamp on this franchise, and James Jones could be next.
Yeah, because James Jones, as what we're hearing, does not have much say in personnel matters right now.
No, Matt Ishbia made the Kevin Durant trade.
Yeah,
he called Sean Marks. So.
And going back to last Sunday's show, the federal judge, a bankruptcy judge, said to the Suns, "Yep, y'all can't do this." So they're gonna have to go back to negotiate with Diamond Sports regarding the over-the-air deal, and that'll get done. But the Vegas Golden Knights in hockey went back old school and are putting their games on the over-the-air rather than RSNs. So teams are doing it. It may be piecemeal here and there, but it seems like more and more pro franchises are going to try to go the over-the-air way to show their games for fans to watch, and we'll see how it goes for revenue, because RSNs was a big part of revenue for years, and that's gone away. So we'll see if the ad rates will come in to help fill that void. All right, everybody, shifting gears, the Rocket fans, reminder, Tuesday, May 16th, right around 7:35 or 7:40, a Let's Talk Houston Rockets live stream show will be after the lottery. And Andy will, if y'all haven't heard, my Rocket diehards on the Let's Talk Houston Rockets show know, if the Pistons get that first pick for a minute or two on Tuesday's edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets, I will act ignorant. I will say Detroit basketball a few times. Hell, I record it and put it on loop for y'all to hear for a minute or two. And then we get into talking about the Rockets and what they're going to do afterward. So I'm just, y'all are forewarned. If that happens, I will act ignorant for just 60 seconds, 90 or 120. So Tony,
well, Chris, both you and the Rocket fans will be depressed on Tuesday when the San Antonio Spurs end up with the number 1 overall pick and rebuild their team.
And that's possible as well.
I'm about to go real conspiracy theorist right now. What did the Charlotte Hornets win the number 1 overall pick? Because isn't Michael Jordan reportedly looking to sell? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I just like to throw that out there. All right. I'm just saying.
Anything is possible. I don't know, if there's going to be any frozen envelopes or anything like that in the hopper. But in that scenario of Mark Tatum with the first pick in the 2023 NBA draft goes to the Detroit Pistons, me and Jalen Rose are going to go on Twitter and act ignorant. Ignorant. Some might even say ignorant. I might text Will and Andy and AJ a recording. I might put it on TikTok. Who knows what I might do if that happens. If not, I'll be fine. It won't hurt me one way or the other. But I digress. Okay, college football. The Cincinnati Bearcats going to the Big 12, just like UH. Corey, UH student, announced they're going to have their groundbreaking ceremony for their football facility on, May 23rd. The Board of Trustees approved the funding for a project at a maximum, Will, Andy, Tony, Corey, of $134 million. More than $88 million has been raised for the Day One Ready campaign. Andy, how does that compare to Houston?
When did they start fundraising?
Oh, let's see. Day One campaign sometime this year, Andy. I want to say.
Oh my goodness. Well, you asked me to compare it to UH, and they did a similar thing with their Houston Rise campaign, which launched in June of 2022. And there's somewhere, we don't have the exact number, there's somewhere, I'm leaning that they're probably closer to 50 million. They surpassed 50 million, so they're over 50 million in the funds that they raised, but they're somewhere in between 50 and 75 million. And they're trying to secure more 7 and 8 figure donations.
Oh, no. It's older than that. It was Cincinnati launched it November of 2021.
Okay, so they had about 8 months ahead of U of H in launching that. So that seems about right when it comes to how much UH has raised and how much Cincinnati has been able to raise. But yeah, that's where UH is with their Houston Rise campaign. They actually made the official announcement that they surpassed 50 million this past week. But that's where they are. They're somewhere in between 50 to 75 million. And I tend to lean they're probably closer to 50 million right now.
Yeah, not closer to the 88 million that the Bearcats have raised quarterly. And it is the indoor facility is scheduled to be completed in time for the 24 football season. The 96,000 square foot performance center will include offices for the football program and feature performance nutrition stations, a dining hall, sports performance weight room, athletic training room, and mental health services. It will be constructed next to the indoor practice facility, and it is scheduled to open prior to the 2025 football season. We'll see who gets it. Who builds first? Who finishes first? UH or Cincinnati? Corey, if you're still there, Tony
UH
M.
has the indoor practice facility,
Right.
correct? So it's about that ops building, which I think. See, here's the thing with U of H. Their timeline is up in the air because they haven't announced any details, and they've already dealt with delays, and it's been delayed even more. So where they said they were planning on breaking ground this summer, it certainly seems like it's been postponed to after the end of the 2023 season.
Yeah,
Doesn't seem like it's been reported.
Been pushed back to December. The day after the Cougs football team is playing the Big 12 championship game, right, Will?
It won't wait till that long. It'll be the day after.
Yeah, they can't wait that long.
the final home game of the 2023 season.
Oh, okay. So Andy, you don't believe that the football team is going to be playing in the Big 12 championship game this year?
Well, they very well could. I'm not going to go ahead and say that.
No, they're not, Andy. No, they're not.
You never know. It's on paper. You never know. Any given Saturday.
That's a lot of any given Saturday, Andy. Other than your guaranteed win over the Longhorns.
October 21 will be a guaranteed win, and that'll put an end to the Longhorns' CFP chances. But I digress.
Guaranteed.
But Andy, what if that's the Longhorns' only loss? They can still.
They play
CFP.
Alabama too. I highly doubt that'll be their only loss.
Okay, we've seen betting lines out there. U of H football wins are predicted to be between 4 and 5.
4.5 wins.
4.5 to 5.5.
You see, this is where they get you. This is where Vegas gets you, because you look at Houston's guy. This is overall season, not just conference.
Mm-hmm.
Houston plays Sam Houston. They play UTSA. They play Rice in non-conference. On paper, and I know UTSA was good. On paper, those should be 3 wins. Right or wrong? Do you agree, Chris?
Should be. Yeah.
Okay.
Won't be, but yeah, should be.
It should be.
Oh, didn't UTSA take it into overtime last year?
Yes, but
double overtime. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
UTSA lost their top receiver. They are bringing back the quarterback, but I digress. It's a Big 12 team versus a American Athletic Conference team, but I digress. On paper, it should be 3 wins. So that means you just need 2 more. They were competitive with Texas Tech last year. They play West Virginia. They're going to beat Texas October 21 because I guarantee it.
Oh, one more time. Hold on.
Guaranteed.
Okay.
That's where Vegas gets you. Is it beyond the realm of possibility that they can get 2, at the very least, 2 conference games?
So you got 5 wins.
With their non-conference schedule, they absolutely should be able to tally 5 wins. On paper, right or wrong, they should.
No. No.
You don't think they can beat 2 Big 12 opponents this season? Texas Tech, West Virginia.
Nope. Kansas.
Well, we saw that. That's a big reason why I did not mention Kansas. But
your guarantee might be the only one. They may rise up. They may rise up because the ship would be sinking by that point. And then all the hype surrounding the Longhorns coming to town, all those things. They're going to say, this is our last stand. And oh, by the way, Andy Yanez said, Pictures win this game. So win that game, beat the Longhorns, get the first conference win of the year. Then rest of the season, fellas be like, yeah, we beat Texas. We're good.
They play West Virginia at home. They play Texas Tech again, even though it's at Lubbock. They showed that. I mean, good. They should have won that game against Texas Tech. They should have.
But they didn't.
They get
and
one
there's
stop.
a reason why they didn't.
Because 4th and 20, they couldn't make a stop on 4th and 20. They can get 2 conference wins.
And you know this. You know this. Tank Dell's gone. Who's going to fill fill that void.
Tank Dell will be gone. They will not have Clayton Tune, so
Who's the quarterback going to be?
It'll be a very new quarterback in that
defensive
system.
line, all that. Who's that going to be? What's it going to do for the running game and linebackers?
They lost
secondary.
McCaskill too. They do have Brandon Campbell coming back along with Stacey Sneed and the incoming recruits that they have coming in.
But more importantly, Will, you know who they have also have coming back?
Who's that?
Dana Holgorsen. So there I go. If they win
5 wins, they can get 5.
I'm not sure they're going to win all 3 games non-conference.
If they would, they better not lose to Rice or Sam Houston. Good. If they're going to lose one, it has to be UTSA.
And that'll be the one.
But I think they can go 3-0. It's a
This
whole
is wild.
At TDCU Stadium.
This is wild. That we're trying to convince how they're going to win 5 games. This is new to me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, because anything less than 10 is a failure for you.
Yeah. Anything less than 11.
But Andy, if they win, get your 5 wins, 2 conference wins, would that be enough to bring him back for a second season in the Big 12?
It absolutely will. And Chris, you know that absolutely will. The first year in the Big 12. You won 5 games.
But
I think it will.
You went 2-7 in the Big 12.
Right. It depends who those 2 wins are against. I mean, my God, if you beat UT, I think you're set for 1 more year in and of itself.
Okay. So
I think, Chris, did you tell me I'm wrong? I think a 5-7 record in the first year in the Big 12 will bring Dana Holgorsen back.
Alas, you are probably correct.
And here's the thing. This is where the question should be for fans and for the season ticket holders that they've, been able to regain with the buzz of the Big 12. Is 5-7 good enough for them? And that's, at the end of the day, that's really the answer that should matter.
Okay. Corey's got the question. When will we not be okay with being mediocre?
That part.
Second year in the Big 12.
You said second year?
Third, fourth.
Third year. you keep
Correct
me
if I'm wrong. Weren't they mediocre in the AAC?
Yes. They've been mediocre in football, in Conference USA, and the American. How, and that's one of the things that I've said to my fellow alums for years. And I'm putting on my UH alum hat, we couldn't dominate Conference USA in football or the American in football for years. So that was a problem. That part was a problem. It took Kelvin Sampson to take over basketball for the last 4 or 5 years to dominate the AAC in men's hoops. Track and field, dominant in the American. I think that
they've won every single American Athletic Conference championship since its existence.
That's dominant in track and field. Football,
swimming and diving team.
Football, swimming and diving, dominant. Football, baseball, nope. So I'm not, Corey, I think you follow me on other platforms as well. I'm not high on Dana Holgorsen. Will knows from being part of us with these shows. 8-4 used to get folks fired. That's what we were told. 8-4 used to get folks fired. Now 5-7 would be okay because it'd be the first year in the Big 12. And this is with more money coming in.
What it is.
I don't believe you're wrong, Andy. I think you're correct. They will bring him back for a second year. 1 win, 2 wins. He'd probably have to go winless in the conference to not be brought back.
He has to lose to Rice. If Houston loses to Rice.
I'm talking, hell, they do. And Rice should have a pretty good football team this year.
And
they should not be on the same par as the Cougars, but
they came really close to beating Houston last season. I thought they were. I thought they had tied the play, but apparently the receiver didn't catch the last pass. But I digress.
What if he loses to West Virginia? Because didn't he come from West Virginia?
Yep.
And so what if he loses?
That's for you, Will. How about that?
Great question, Corey. It's not so much Kyle McCord. I have trust in Ryan Day because Ryan Day can't lose 3 in a row. to the team up north.
He'd be saving his job.
Right,
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of questions on the offensive line. It's got a couple transfers. Kid from Brandon Simmons from San Diego State. There's a report that there's a quarterback in the portal that they're looking at. That's why I kind of hem and hawed on that, because it's a possibility it may not be Kyle McCord. There's a quarterback that I won't mention here that is in the portal, potentially could be coming to Ohio State, per some reports I've heard.
Well, if he's in the portal, you can say it. Why can't you say it if he's in the portal?
Yeah. Okay. You're right. TJ Finley of Auburn.
Okay.
Is the name I've heard. Because Peyton Thorne from Michigan State hit the portal and left Michigan State, went to Auburn. And now TJ Finley is looking for a landing spot. So potentially Ohio State is in the mix for him. So it can't necessarily won't be Kyle McCord, Corey. But on a scale of 1 to 10, because they can't lose 3 in a row, and because it's Jim Harbaugh, and because it's the team up north, I would say it's 7.
Corey, who is this who can be at Texas State? Who's that?
Oh, TJ Finley?
I mean, yeah. Let me know. Let's see. Oh, he said per his Instagram. Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well then, all right.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
Okay.
Wow.
Will.
Yep.
Talent-wise, who has more talent, Ohio State or that team from up north? Last 2 years.
Oh, Ohio State.
Same for this year?
I'll be unbiased. Michigan may have a slight edge.
Would that slight edge be enough to save his job if they lose for the 3rd straight year?
No. Nope. He can go 1-11. He can go 1-11. If that one is the team up north, he's great. He's gravy. But,
okay. Let me flip this around.
Yep.
If they lose to the team up north, and that's their only loss until the CFP.
Oh, it's a wrap. No. Because that's John Cooper. John Cooper, when I was in school, John Cooper, 13 years. I don't know how many years we were 11-0, number 2 in the country, going into the last game of the season, and ended the season 11-2. John Cooper was 2-10-1 versus Michigan in 13 years. 2-10-1. My freshman year, 1992, we tied the team up north 13-13. The president at the time, Gordon Gibbs, now the president at West Virginia, called that one of the greatest wins in Ohio State history. A 13-13 tie.
Yeah.
Since then, Jim Tressel was 9-1 versus the team up north. Urban Meyer was 7-0. Ryan Day has lost 2 straight. It won't be a chance to get a 4th if there's a 3rd.
Okay, and the second one was bad, right?
Yeah, they got caught up. I believe they lost the first one, and I believe last year they got caught up in paying Michigan back instead of playing football.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
And here's the tie with how it's shifted.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah. So he's a UH and Buckeye. Hey, that's what we're going to do here and more. Now we're going to shift gears for these final few moments on. Oh, and I got to do it. Folks Talking Sports. Oops, let's get this right. Watch this on Folks Talk Sports on Twitter. But guys, I touched on it, I think, Thursday's show on the lunch break about UH men's basketball, a 13th scholarship, and possibly Dedan Thomas. Heck, I didn't realize he was a junior, as in DJ was Dedan Jr., and his dad played at UNLV years ago. I forgot about that. I didn't know that until today. Well, DJ announced that he was going to go follow his dad's footsteps and go to UNLV. Yeah. So he did not pick Houston, Florida, Auburn, other schools. He chose UNLV. So good luck to him. And as far as it indicates, he is not reclassifying for the 23-24 season. He's going to waited out and enrolled in UNLV for 24-25 to be a freshman. 4-star, one of the top point guards in that class. Some Coug fans are pissed off. I got text messages. I cannot believe him. Cougs be fine. Cougs will be fine. You know, I got word yesterday that he was not picking UH. Well, he did not pick UH. Life goes on, Will. Life goes on, Andy. You know, so they'll be okay in that scenario. I don't know how that's going to impact Federal Lott because he and DJ were teammates, high school / AAU. So I don't know if Big Sid is going to decide to transfer to Vegas. I have no reason to believe he will. But with youngsters today, who knows? In a year's time, he might do that. Who knows? But it'll be okay, Coug fans. They'll be fine. Andy, your thoughts on his decision to not pick UH, leaving that 13th scholarship for the Cougs still open for this season?
Just like you said, Chris, they'll be fine, and that scholarship will stay open until if the right player ever comes along.
And let's say that again. If the right player comes along, an impact player, an elite player, some of these names I've had fans, alums toss my way, and they're my friends. But sometimes I want to say, are y'all, what are y'all drinking? I mean, are y'all serious? Really? I mean, really, do you think that's going to be the impact player, y'all? Come on now. So, wait, we'll see how it all plays out, but I'm not worried about that. NBA playoffs. The conference finals will begin Tuesday. Nuggets, Lakers, Tuesday, 7:35, 7:40 Central Time tip. Lakers, Nuggets series. Who you got, Andy? You first.
Man, I think the Denver Nuggets. I'm gonna pick the Denver Nuggets, and I'm not really confident in my pick, but just seeing how the Nuggets overall have been, obviously throughout the whole season, the body of work they put together to be the number 1 seed, what they've done in the postseason, and I got to pick Denver, even though the Lakers have caught fire as of late.
What number? Nuggets in
7.
Okay, Will.
Lakers in 6. And surprisingly, that is also the pick of Draymond Green. Imagine that.
Yeah,
I think Jamal Murray and Anthony Davis are going to be the key players in the series. Because if Anthony Davis is, I mean, you would imagine that Nikola Jokic is going to be the one guarding Anthony Davis for a bulk of the series. If he can get the big man to get tired and really make him work defensively, it might limit his offensive capabilities, and that's where Jamal Murray comes in place too. If the Lakers don't, it's kind of hard to say that when the Lakers have to go through Steph Curry and John Morant, but I think those two players are the key in the series.
Can I tell you who's going to be the key in my opinion?
Darvin Ham?
Darvin
Ham?
Well, yes, but Mo Bamba. He hasn't played at all, but he's a big that they're going to need to lean on Jokic. And I'll say another, Tristan Thompson. I'm just saying, these bigs are there for a reason, and they're going to run them out there against Jokic. I think those two, it's call me crazy, but I think those two are going to be a key. We know LeBron and AD. We know what they're going to do. Lonnie Walker's going to give you what he's going to give you. D'Lo's going to give you what he's going to give you.
That's, because what if it comes down to, like some playoff series do, the others?
Yeah. Schroeder.
Yeah, because Dennis, what if the refs call Dennis's flops more in this series than they did against the Dubs? That could be an issue because he was up and down against the Warriors. Austin Reeves, D'Lo. They did just enough at the right time. Their reserve players did enough to defeat the Warriors. I'm not picking the Nuggets to win the series. I'm picking Lakers in 6. Hell, I hate being with Will because I like us to be different a little bit in terms of picks because I don't want to do the same pick.
Yeah.
But he said 6. I was picking Lakers in 6. Celtics, Heat.
I got Boston. I figure at some point the Miami Heat are going to run into a team that they can't out hustle or out physical, out bully. I mean, really, that's what they did to the New York Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks. And I think, the Celtics are up and down. I think it's much more the Celtics series to lose, and I don't think they will. I picked Boston in 6.
Will?
I agree. Eventually, Miami is going to run into a team that they can't out-bully, but I think it's going to be the Lakers and not the Celtics. So I'm picking Spoelstra. Spoelstra's, if you thought Doc Rivers was coaching circles around Joe Mazzulla, Eric Spoelstra is going to coach hexagons around Joe Mazzulla. Miami in a game, a number. Just because I saw what Boston just did in Game 7 at home, Miami in 6.
All right. I'm going to pick Boston. I'm going to say I don't have enough confidence in them to pick them at 5. The last 8 seed make the finals,
wasn't it?
I think probably was the Knicks. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Celtics in 6. That would be winning in Miami. South Beach, South Beach is undefeated, but I'm picking Boston to win the series, and ABC would be thrilled to death if my prediction of Boston Lakers happens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they'd be just thrilled to pieces. One last thing. I forgot to mention it. Doc Rivers. Another reason why he's going to be fired. Made no adjustment on that pick and roll when Jayson Tatum was just carving up Joel Embiid. You don't have to switch that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to say, Joel, go ahead, y'all switch. Why? At what point? What was it, like 4, 5, 6, 7 times? Doc, coaches, players, don't do it. I mean, come on. Basketball sometimes, or a lot of times, is not complicated. If it's working, my perspective, I'm going to keep doing it until you stop me. But if you don't, that's on you, and I'll keep doing it. You need to make adjustments. Stop. It's just like that same thing. Those who doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity, Doc Rivers. And it's now 12 series. If you missed the first part of the show, Doc Rivers has lost 12 series in which he had a lead. So, Doc, would anybody else hire Doc once he gets fired in Philly?
Yes.
Like who? Should anybody hire Doc once he gets fired in Philly?
Yeah. I think, man, I can't say.
This cycle, he might not. He might sit out this cycle.
Toronto would.
Ooh. That'd be interesting to see. I don't know.
Yep.
If I'm a winning team, I wouldn't hire Doc right now. I'd say, Doc, go do TV. Sit out a year and go. But we'll see. Shame on you, Corey. He ain't, nope. Shame on you for putting out there in the universe. Nope.
But it's not a winning team.
So, yeah. But we shall see. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Andy Yanez, you first. How can folks follow you and get in touch with you on social media?
Yes, sir, Chris. Thank you, as always, for having me on the show. And as always, people can follow me on Twitter at Yanez_5. The draft combine begins tomorrow, correct, Chris? So that's going to be interesting to see how.
Yeah, the big boys, because I think the G League
started yesterday.
Yeah.
Correct, but it'll be interesting to see how a couple of the Cougars do in the draft combine as we get, we're 16. Is it May 30? It's May 31st. That's when the deadline is to withdraw, correct?
Right.
So Jamal Shead has until May 31st to withdraw his name. Did not make the combine.
He needs to, because he was not one of the 78 who got invited to the combine. So,
Correct.
and I believe the combine, part of it will be televised on ESPN2. So look for that in the afternoon. Will, how can folks get in touch with you?
Appreciate it. Thank you as always, Chris. Shout out to Tony M, Corey, and all of us. I shouldn't start naming because now names are escaping me. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Will Gibson 7 and Facebook Will Knows.
And of course, I am on Twitter at the HR Review, Houston Roundball Review on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. I have an interview scheduled tomorrow with a pretty important person tomorrow evening. So look for that to be posted tomorrow night on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. And of course, Rocket fans, Tuesday evening, 7:35, 7:40 Central, another edition of Let's Talk Houston Rockets as we discuss the results of the lottery. So Will, Andy, thank you very much. Thursday on the lunch break, trying to get someone to discuss WNBA because that season starts this Friday. A legend. See if she is able to join the show. We're still working on that. If not, we'll do what we do and chop it up as the best we can on lunch break from noon to 1 on Houston Roundball Review on YouTube, as well as on Roku on the BS3 network. Everybody, thank you as always for watching the show, participating with your comments. The show's, of course, on Twitter as well as YouTube at Folks Talk Sports. So until I think next Sunday, I think we should be good because I think when does game, what is that? Game 3 or so, we should be good for another time for 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. So until then, everybody, take care. Peace.